Hi everyone, my name is Risha. Today is the 26th of January 2025. I'll be going over my weekly prediction for Nvidia. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts. And then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet where we'll review last week's predictions and go over this one in more detail. But before getting into the video, it is important to make a disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis, whatever analysis that may be, to ensure that you're comfortable with the risk, reward, and trading style, since you may not be with mine. But with that out of the way, let's just get into the video. So, monthly charts, we can see Nvidia has been on a huge run up, and everyone on the market is aware of how well this company has performed. It effectively more than doubled in a year. We can see, however, that this run-up was initially supported by heavy volume, and then starting around here, we can see there's a very clear wane in volume, and this is accompanied with larger and larger wicks, indicating that the underlying psychology behind the price action seems to be declining. Now, stepping back from the charts, it is important to note that Nvidia, especially in 2025, the major impact of Blackwell, and I have stated this in previous videos, is expected to be rolling out in this year because they are going to scale it more this year. In 2024, although that is when it was launched, the model was still in a bunch of testing phases and it wasn't fully released properly to the market. And this year is when that will be fully, the scale and impact of Blackwell will fully be start to felt in 2025. And secondly, of course, the release of the new RTX is also further going to boost up the company's performance, among other things that they're doing. RSI is overbought and the MACD is still very bullish. We can see the histogram starting to decline a little bit. However, even though the monthly charts show a little bit of a bearish concern, we do need to keep in mind that fundamentally the stock is insanely strong, and the prospects coming up in this year kind of make it, you have to think a little bit more long term. Of course, this is a weekly prediction video, but taking a much longer term, let's say a year, I mean, this stock is pretty much expected to rise significantly because of the upcoming prospects and underlying fundamentals. So, weekly charts again will exemplify what I was saying. We had this descending triangle that I had marked here. We did have the breakout. We had a little bit of sideways action. We are still in a rectangle pattern. Sorry, it's not confirmed because there need to be a few more touches, but we are in a sideways price action, as clearly you can see by the supports and resistances that I've drawn. MACD actually is negative, and it turned negative around here. And I had mentioned that in my video when this was coming out. We can see that the RSI has been diverging for price from a very long time. We can see it's basically been diverging even more significantly from here. And we can see that although RSI is diverging, price seems to be increasing. And this kind of further backs up the point that I made that technically some of the volume waning and RSI divergence, MACD becoming negative, shows that this is a rough patch for Nvidia. We may see some short-term declines, but overall, personally, I expect the stock to rise up significantly in the long term. But yes, weekly charts do indicate weakness, and we will need to see the breaks of supports and resistances, which I will cover when we get to the Excel sheet. Now, daily charts, we can see again even more exemplified. The MACD actually has just recently become bearish. However, this bearish engulfing pattern towards, well, very close to the resistance and breaking down to the support is actually quite a bearish pattern, and we should generally expect a bearish movement this week for Nvidia. Again, but this is based on the movements and the support and resistances, depending on which get broken. However, this is an extremely bullish pattern. We can see it was on high volume too. It may have just been a sell-off, but still, we can see that this resistance has been tested multiple times, hasn't been broken yet. So we do need to see an effective breakout to ensure that there is a good price action. Even if we get an intermediate result around here, the target will still be set below this resistance. Since personally, I need to see a strong breakout with volume to justify a short-term buy position for sure. Yeah, so moving to the Excel sheet, we can see that last week was a profitable trade. Again, well, 2 weeks ago was profitable. You can read through this trade if you want. The current week, we will buy when Nvidia crosses 145.7 and sell when it falls below 140 with a target of 2% and a trailing stop loss of 1%. If neither the target or stop loss is hit, then we will close on Friday with the weekly trend being up and monthly trend as well. I mean, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.